What's up, guys? How is it going? Now, we all know that the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers are about to go head-to-head in the Super Bowl final, and that is going to be hosted in Las Vegas. Now, it does pose a question to myself as an outsider. How do they choose which stadiums are going to host the Super Bowl? Now, this video is titled, Why These Stadiums Will Never Host a Super Bowl. So I'm not sure what reasons it could be that a stadium would never be given it, but that's what we're going to find out. If you're new around here, please do subscribe. We're on the route to 21,000 subscribers. So if you could click that button, free to do, just click that button, help a guy out. Let's dive into this. Let's go.
Before we get into the stadiums, you should know the most common criteria
We should
that
know
the
that.
NFL uses in selecting a Super Bowl site. Keep
Let us
in
know.
mind they are selected now, not bid on anymore. Space,
Okay, so it's not like a World Cup thing where countries go in actively asking for the Super Bowl. It's just selected.
or game day experience.
Okay.
Appropriate infrastructure. Minimum hotel capacity within an hour's drive. Equal practice space for both teams. And a big Achilles heel for some stadiums on this list, a minimum of 70K fixed seats.
Now, that does make a lot of sense. None of those criteria are actually like outrageous or anything. They all make a hell of a lot of sense, to be
And though
fair.
it's not stated explicitly,
Weather.
weather is a huge
No
factor.
Buffalo Bills.
Let's quickly recap all the active NFL stadiums that have hosted a Super Bowl.
So indoor
and
helps
will
then,
host again.
I'm guessing.
SoFi is set to host this year, then followed by the Superdome, State Farm, Raymond James, US Bank, Mercedes-Benz, Levi Stadium, Hard Rock, and Jerry World.
So a lot of these have a roof. There's a couple here that don't have a roof. The two on the left, bottom left. Okay.
And though it hasn't been confirmed yet, Allegiant Stadium will totally host a Super Bowl. Next, there are stadiums that have hosted, but likely will never again. Ford Field, Lucas Field, MetLife, which was a miracle, NRG, 28-3, and TIAA Bank in
Oh, that was the biggest comeback ever.
Jacksonville, which was one of the biggest anomalies ever. They hosted Super Bowl 39.
Bank of America
Out
Stadium.
of all the stadiums that haven't hosted a Super Bowl, Bank of America stands the best chance.
That looks like
With a
a
hub
soccer
airport in the
field.
city, it does indeed have the infrastructure to handle the big game. And they meet the seating requirement. The only maybes are hotel space, practice facilities, and the weather. But being south of the Mason-Dixon line helps Charlotte avoid a major snowstorm. But it's not exactly Miami. Unlike their actual team this year, Carolina has a slim chance at seeing the Super Bowl in the future.
Even though the weather is a bit of a tough one because you can't really control it, it's based on your geographical location. It's a tough one for those teams based there. I do understand that one because we saw a game get delayed. I think it was the Kansas City Chiefs Buffalo Bills game, right? So imagine you got people flying in for the game. They got hotels booked, and then you have to delay the game a day or a couple of days because of weather. It'd be an absolute nightmare for people. So I get it. Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas
The
City.
loudest stadium in the league has a shot at the bowl, but its age and the city's infrastructure work against it.
A lot of
Another big
parking,
problem
though.
could be practice space, as the Chiefs' facility is nearby, but finding another indoor space could be difficult.
Just do it on the baseball
Additionally,
field.
The weather could hurt the game day experience, as all that stuff needs to be indoors or in nice weather. To me, a Super Bowl in Arrowhead would be cool, but maybe too risky for the NFL.
Shame. Nissan Stadium, Nashville,
Though
Tennessee.
Nissan falls short of the 70K requirement, they are at 69,143. That's certainly close enough where they could squeeze in a few more butts into the arena. Nashville has the infrastructure and hotels, ample areas for the game day experience of getting hammered in their many bars. Practice
Let's go.
space
Let's
could
go.
be an issue, but maybe something temporary could be added. Weather is also a factor, and like Charlotte, it's unlikely to snow here, but it wouldn't be balmy and sunny. Still, could be a fun place for a Super Bowl, though unlikely when there are better options.
Shame for Tennessee. They got the bars. Bars should be taken into the criteria. It's an important aspect of sports. Getting drunk.
Now for our
Hard
absolute
nose.
nose.
Okay. Green Bay.
At first, I had
The Packers
Lambeau
not getting
as a
one.
maybe, as in the future, the NFL might go crazy and award a stadium with the game on some kind of nostalgia or anniversary kick. But quite simply, Green Bay
Just
doesn't
too old.
have the infrastructure, the airport, or the hotels. The atrium helps for Radio Row, but that's the only indoor space to hide from the brutal February Wisconsin weather. Nobody wants to work in sub-zero temperatures when LA and Miami exist. Sorry, Lambeau.
Sorry, Lambeau. You're not getting it. Gillette Stadium,
This one
Foxborough.
could have been a maybe, but as I thought it over, it's a no. The area around Gillette could handle the requirements. Hell, Robert Kraft might even build a new hotel like Indy did to please his buddy Roger. But the weather and 4K short on seats make Gillette a no, no matter how many strokes of luck Robert Kraft would need.
Why does the American football season take place like through winter? Why is that a thing? Is it better to play in winter than summer? I don't know. I never really thought about that. Why do they even play through winter? Is it just to align with other sports seasons, like the baseball? I don't know. Why is it played in winter? Let me know in the comments, guys, if you know the answer to that. It seems weird that it's played in winter because the snow and the cold seems to affect the game so much. Why not just play it in why not just start the season later?
Though it was a long time ago and the field has been completely replaced, anytime you bring up this moment at Heinz Field, It causes the NFL to retract in horror. Close enough on the seating chart at 68K, but again, the weather works against Pittsburgh here. Plus, the stadium area is pretty small, as Heinz Field lacks the parking of other stadiums. No Pittsburghers will be sold on Super Bowl Sunday.
Thinking about the question I just asked, I guess like you have your traditional Thanksgiving games and stuff like that, your Christmas games, your New Year's time as well. So I kind of get it. First Energy Stadium, Cleveland, Ohio.
There's just absolutely no way the NFL risks their biggest cash cow on a stadium that is located literally right on Lake Erie during the bitter cold of the winter, where freezing winds enter the stadium and knock people over like Tim Tebow trying to block somebody. Yes, if Indy could handle the Super Bowl, maybe Cleveland could too, but the fact that this isn't a dome makes it nearly impossible. Plus, it's Cleveland.
At least we're not Detroit.
Yo, shots fired at Cleveland and Detroit all in one sentence there. Empower Field, Denver, Colorado.
Another
Too
big
cold.
nope from the weather gods. It's one thing when snow is a possible factor in a cold weather city. It's another if it's virtually guaranteed.
Why do none of these stadiums
Plus,
have roofs?
casual fans would not be prepared to handle the amount of rocks being kicked up into their rental car windshields during Super Bowl week. Sorry, Perna. No Super Bowl for you.
You're pushing your luck, little man. No soup for you!
Lumen Field,
The
Seattle.
NFL wants the most neutral site for a game that they can. And if the Seahawks somehow made it to Super Bowl Sunday, their stadium would be a huge advantage for them. But the biggest detractor would be rain. Rain simply is not something they would want that could both affect the outcome of the game, but also the quality of the broadcast.
If you want a neutral field, just come to Wembley, come to London. Neutral as can be.
It would also put
Imagine
a strain on the game
people
day
would be fuming.
experience. Sorry, Seattle. You've been washed out.
It'll be in Saudi Arabia in a few years. Don't worry.
Paul Brown falls well short of the capacity criteria, and the weather doesn't help. Plus, issues with choke points in the stadium, like only one access ramp to the upper deck, would make for a salty Super Bowl experience for the fans. Big fat striped no.
No.
The biggest thing working against Lincoln Financial Field is that a lot of season ticket holders get to attend the Super Bowl, and I'm not sure if Goodell wants turd eaters and battery chuckers at his moneymaker. Plus, nobody visits Philly for tourist reasons. It would end up being the lowest attended Super Bowl ever. All semi-serious joking aside, weather is probably the biggest excluder for the link.
I mean, I'm pretty sure every Super Bowl in the history of Super Bowls has probably been sold out, right? I don't think they're struggling to sell tickets. M&T Bank Stadium, Baltimore.
I'm sure if push came to shove, Baltimore could host the big game.
Baltimore.
As M&T can seat 71K and the surrounding area is nice. However, there just isn't a compelling reason as to why you would bring the Super Bowl to Baltimore. Everything is just average. There's no dome, and other than crab cakes, there's really not a draw.
Holding nothing back.
Now we're getting into the super hard nose.
Highmark Stadium, Buffalo, yeah, it's going to be the
Even
snow.
with recent renovations, there's absolutely no way the near
50-year-old
Highmark Stadium could host a Super Bowl, nor could the small town of Buffalo handle all the requirements. Even if the evil...
Buffalo's a town, a small town. I never knew that. I thought Buffalo was like a big city. I just assumed pretty much every NFL team was based in like a fairly big city.
Pagulas sham the city into paying for a new stadium. There's no way the hotel requirements get met here, not to mention the brutal weather. And where is the game day experience going to be? In the wild-ass Buffalo parking lot? Though I suppose that would be pretty cool. Also, the Pagulas.
Okay. Soldier Field,
This
Chicago,
would
Illinois.
also be another giant Y, as even though it was essentially rebuilt in 2003,
It was beautiful.
the new Soldier Field is
surrounding
aging
area.
out, and replacement plans, possibly in Arlington Park, are already underway. This stadium was never designed with a Super Bowl in mind, and its downtown proximity would be a nightmare for an event as large as the Super Bowl. Plus, have we brought up the wind yet?
As this woman clinged onto the side of a building for dear life.
Jesus.
And for our final,
FedEx Field.
extremely hard no.
MD. What's MD? MD?
Reflective of the organization
Washington.
that resides in this dump,
MD?
the NFL would likely choose to cancel the Super Bowl or host it in London before it had one at FedEx.
There we go.
Yes, after
My man
9/11,
knows.
it was briefly considered that the stadium could get a Super Bowl, but after MetLife hosted one and got extremely lucky with decent weather, but a terrible game, all that talk got squelched. Parking here is a
Squelched.
nightmare. Access to this place
Yo.
is a nightmare. Traffic is a nightmare. Maybe the game day experience is over at the Landover Mall? Maybe both teams practice in the parking lot? Sorry, the only Super Bowl the Washington football team will see anytime soon is highlights from 1993. Well, I hope you enjoyed this
Brutal.
video. Please
I quite enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys disagree with any of this guy's opinions. And what do you think in the comments would be the best stadium for a Super Bowl, even if it's already one that's recently been done. If you guys have been to a Super Bowl, let me know. I know it's quite a hard thing to actually go. I've seen some of these ticket prices coming up for the Super Bowls in the thousands of dollars. It's insane, but yeah, you kind of understand at the same point. Yeah, like I said, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 21,000. So if you can click that button, it will help out. And we've got more videos coming, so notifications on, all that good stuff. I'll see you for the next one. Take it easy. Peace.